The third quarter just moments away as Canada, Slovenia 50-50 tie. And before we get into what we expect in the second half, KJ, let's talk about what will be here once this game's over. The loser of this game will play tomorrow at 8:30. So basically 24 hours time, they'll be back on the floor taking on Lithuania. Will the loser of this game. The winner will get a chance to skip a day and play on Friday. But if you're a Canadian fan, that means you'll have to wake up bright and early. 4:45 slated start against Serbia for the winner of this game between Canada and Slovenia. And then obviously, depending on those results, will depend on if they play in the 5-6 game on Saturday, and then obviously the gold and bronze medal games on Sunday. As the tournament is almost wrapped up, I will also mention that Polar Opposites will be back on its regularly scheduled programming as of tomorrow. Cage now be back in the lab, creating you some beautiful content, even if Canada plays at 8:30. So you'll be getting you'll be getting lots of doses of us, Cajun, if they end up losing this game. Which
Yes,
at
sir.
this point the jury is still out. And then I sort of talked to Al if an outreach episode is manageable this week for him or not. But regardless of that, Slovenia about to walk out here for the second half. And neither team are looking forward to if they lose this game, because who wants to play in about 24 hours time against the Lithuania team that beat the Americans just days ago? And as you talked about, after Canada beat Spain and getting the Slovenian matchup, there are no easy games left.
Especially on their bracket, because after that, like the winner of this, they're rewarding
No
Serbia.
series, and he has made it look easy against Lithuania.
Mm-hmm.
Play Serbia. In fairness, a jokerless Serbia. Obviously, Nikola is not related.
Huh?
He did not. Big sad. It buffered as RJ went up, Cajun. Right as he went up.
And Buffett as it went up, as he
And
went up.
you don't want to see it.
I don't
Yeah, he
know. I already did see it. I already saw
literally
that.
jumped, got like to the rim, and it buffered.
Made it
I'm
that
sad,
time
Cajun.
around
It's very,
though.
very sad. I got cliffhangered.
Not cliffhanger.
I got cliffhanger in my basketball game, Cajun. That's not fair. It's not right.
Well, luckily for you, I got this running, so I'll let you know what happens.
Not right.
11 seconds left on the shot clock. Sort of
Now I
weird.
think I'm
And SGA just went coast to coast after grabbing the rebound.
there we go. I can finally go
Doncic is getting
back to
harassed here
now we should
by
be good.
Brooks. And Dan Shulman is singing Dylan Brooks's praises. And that defensive possession right there was a Dylan Brooks
Now
masterclass.
ooh, Cajun. Ooh,
Are you saying ooh at the move from SGA
you
going coast to coast?
mentioned in the you know. All I got to say, Cajun, is now we're looking for a Dylan Brooks masterclass on NBA defense. That's what we're looking for now.
Mm-hmm.
As my stream and I are again still fighting.
And it looks like Luca's holding
Doncic
back.
can't tell if he's just frustrated, but left arm. It looks like to me. Cage. I'm still buffering, so I got the bump from Barrett, and
Yep.
then when he took the fall down to the floor.
Mm-hmm. Great defensive possession there by
Doncic though
Dwight
looking no
Powell.
worse for wear. Takes the attempt, he misses. Barrett, yeah, you can put up your left hand, baby. Put up your left hand.
My fellow Southpaw, RJ Barrett.
And just get a little look as RJ Barrett again using that left hand.
Shea versus Luca.
Which was a miss.
Uh-oh, Dylan Brooks. Uh-oh.
I want to see the make Kajan. Oh, of course.
And the largest lead of the game for Team Canada.
Oh, there we go. And was probably going to lose
literally
this
like
game, and
watching
right
that.
now,
I'm literally watching that 3 fall and like imagining the ESPN theme, like
you're thinking of the old theme, eh?
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Dylan Brooks took that one from an extra step away, Cajun.
Yo,
As the great Shannon Sharp would say, took that one from Bakersfield.
Bakersfield.
I think you know the reference I'm talking about. If you don't, I can explain, of course. I believe it was the great Shannon Sharp on his former show Undisputed with Skip Bayless when LeBron James was cashing it from 40 feet, and you heard him saying it's from Bakersfield.
Shannon Sharp, the LeBron fan, to put it lightly.
I mean, he owns enough jerseys, Cage. He could fund a LeBron shop just with his jerseys alone.
He owns enough shares in LeBron Incorporated.
I don't even know LeBron had it incorporated, but I have no doubt that Shannon Sharp is a top shares owner. As Brooks and Doncic now, a little bit of bark in there between the stopper and the offensive score.
Right now, in terms of the second half, it's Brooks that's had the last laugh.
And we'll see if that continues. You can't really stop Doncic for long, normally, especially as he'll inbound. Kind of an interesting strategy here by the FIBA teams to make their best players inbound. Canada's made Shea do it a lot. Slovenia's making Doncic do it a lot. As that ball's given away, RJ got a free walk here. Here we go. The Duke dunk with the left hand.
And right now, Canada's just dominating the second half. To put it lightly.
And Cajun, I love you. I want to so bad agree with you, but I know Slovenia is right there, and that I believe is Zoran Dragic with the make. There's a lot of Mavericks jerseys here in the crowd. And obviously, this Eastern games being held here in the Philippines is closer to Slovenia than obviously Canada, but still, it is surprising to see so many Mavericks jerseys, as Olenek will get the foul and get the 2 free throws.
Well, when your best player and arguably the best player in the tournament is a Dallas Maverick, it's bound to happen. As you see RJ Barrett say thank you very much for that free dunk.
See, Kate, that's when you wish the Slovenia like throw it up to like it's an all-star game, throw that ball up
Mm-hmm.
to himself, number one. I want to see the Canadians put an exclamation mark on this game for 5 points on
Well,
the
to be
night.
fair, they've won. They're winning this third quarter by 8 points so far. And those threes that were falling for Slovenia in the first half are
Other
not
deep shit.
falling. Are not falling right now. And Zoran
They're going to call the foul.
I was like, "There's no way SGA airballed a mid-range jumper like that." And then I realized a foul was called. I'm like, okay. And if SGA
SGA makes
makes this
number
next
1.
free throw, it'll be a double-digit lead, and it is.
And it is. 50. That's 5 points in almost 5 minutes of play for
And that's a good sign if you're
the Slovenians here in the third quarter. Cheering for the boys in white.
and another stop by Team
By
Canada
Barrett. Did they?
out
He
of
stepped
bounds.
out, it looks like. I couldn't really tell what the call was there, Cage. That
It was
was
out of
really
bounds.
weird. I guess Dragic obviously stepped out.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. It was close, but yeah.
what's
Any or by it because neither team really seemed like they knew what was going on.
And what's concerning right now is for Slovenia, you're down 10. Luka's playing. He's going to have to get a rest one way or the other. And if he doesn't, he's just going to tire himself out as the game goes along.
Well, that and not only that, Cage, I think I'm more frustrated, and that's not a good place. Now his second foul as Barrett goes down hard. He's a little slow to get up, which is a little worrying, but he's able to get back up to his feet. But no, Doncic picks up the foul. I think that's an obvious block on Doncic.
Mm-hmm. It's actually Luka's third foul.
Well, that's even better for the Canadians. So he might need a force break here, as if he gets a fourth in this quarter, he'll probably sit for the rest of it, even though he's the best player on the floor, because you can't afford him to foul up before the fourth quarter. Because it's only 5 fouls here in the FIBA, like the college
Honestly, the way
ball.
this
There's
is going
5
right
fouls
now,
in
I
this
don't
level.
like even if he picks up his fourth foul, I think he's staying on.
See, but I don't think he can, because what happens if he gets a fifth? Like, I know it's unlikely, but what if he gets a fifth in the third quarter? Then the game, no offense to Slovenia, and again, I'm not going to do what Sportsnet did and try to convince you that it's not the Luka Doncic for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander show, but the reality is that Slovenia does not have the pieces to keep up with Canada without Doncic. So I think you need to preserve him for the fourth quarter if he gets a fourth foul. Again, if. Because he will need a break here eventually anyway. So you might as well just use it going into the fourth quarter, and then he plays the whole fourth quarter, regardless. Like he plays the whole fourth quarter, no matter how tired he is.
Yep.
As another miss on the Slovenian offensive end, and another foul called against the blue shirts. And every foul call, Cajun, they get a little more upset.
And here's the thing. Here's the difference. SGA and Luka Doncic are both masters at drawing the foul, but they couldn't be doing it any more differently. SGA, for the most part, just goes about his business. And I think I remember this from like last season. He actually complimented the refs, which is at the beginning of last season, which is rare to kind of see.
He makes both, by the way.
But then when you see Luka, you never see him going off at the refs every like you'll see him going off at the refs every like 30 seconds.
The moment he gets touched, he's expecting a foul to be called. And he does make the step back 3 there. And now Barrett for 3. Call it a comeback.
And there's Nav Badia Raptors
Really.
super fan.
I think he's the Canadian super fan today, Cajun.
Yep.
And now Doncic. Nice pass. And that's money there for Slovenia.
Slovenia is starting to find their touch from behind the arc.
And they need to.
But guess what? SGA's found his touch from behind the arc too.
Call it a clapback by the Canadians. Back-to-back threes for Slovenia, back-to-back threes for Canada. That's what I mean by the first couple of misses by Slovenia, or the first couple of misses by either side was going to cost them because they've gone basically tit for tat the whole way before that. Somehow not out of bounds there for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Barrett the other way, and they're going to call the foul on Slovenia. And the Slovenian coach trying to tell his guys to get down here. Because again, as much as I hate bringing it up as a narrative occasion, you have to. It's gotten out of hand here by Slovenia that they've continually gone at the referees. And I'm not saying they're right or wrong. Because I bet you if you're a Slovenian fan right now, you're seething. You're seething at these referees.
Fuming.
You're perplexed even, Cajun, at the referees and their calls so far
Bamboozled.
tonight. Hornswoggled. Absolutely befuddled at the referees tonight. And I'm not saying they're wrong, Cajun, but that's not the game I'm seeing. It isn't the game I'm seeing. And I'm not saying that you and I, the way we see it, as I think Barrett makes both, that this is the only way to see this game. Because maybe somebody else is watching this and they're saying, that was kind of ticky-tack and that wasn't really a foul or what have you, as Barrett goes off and Luke Dort comes back on. So another defensive stopper with Dylan Brooks on the floor to stop Doncic. So expect Dort and Brooks here to be the switching guards on Doncic on basically any ball screen that will come. As they're basically just going to hedge, I think, from here on out. They doubled Doncic on that one. They're off the hedge. Wide open three, though, for Slovenia, and it does not go. Powell gets the rebound. Something they weren't able to do in the last game, Cajun, was rebound properly against the Hernan Gomez brothers. They have been good tonight rebounding, pardon me. They're going to call it travel against SGA.
A rare mishap there from SGA.
A rare mishap by the Canadian offense, but with the score 77-61, Slovenia only got 11 points in this third quarter.
27 to 11 for the Canadians in this third quarter.
That's their highest scoring quarter yet. They still got 2.5 minutes to go, Cajun. 5 turnovers tonight by the Canadians. They've averaged they've averaged about 11.5 in the tournament. So 5 turnovers tonight has been great by Canada in the offense. They began easily their best offensive performance as Powell will get the foul, and it's an N1 for the Blue Shirts. But I guess we'll finally not bark at the referees for that one, Cajun.
They're like, in terms of barking, they're like my dog at this point. So like damn.
But so far tonight, Cajun, they've had a lot of bite too. In this third quarter, that bite has kind of gone wayside as they make the and one. So Slovenia now down by only 13 here with about 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Look like Prelevic there made that one. And he's got 14 on the night. He's averaging 14 in the tournament.
That's a big
three. Alexander Walker.
He's been money from behind the arc.
He's got 13, does Nikhil Alexander Walker. Another miss from behind the arc for the Slovenians, rebounded by Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. Brooks thought about shooting that one. Off for Luke Dort. He's wide open, and it's short.
Well, there's such a thing as too wide open, and Luke Dort was exactly that, too wide open.
And again, his streaky offensive game continues here today. He also hasn't gotten as many minutes as he has today, as he has previous, because of just how good Dylan Brooks has been. Somebody got to give Luka a towel because he is drenched. And I bet you it's hot in the Philippines because, Cajun, it is boiling here in the GTA.
Oh, man, you're telling me?
Like, I don't know what your house is running at right now, Cage, but my house has been running consistently between 74 and 78. It was as high as 78 yesterday before I went to bed, and I had a problem falling asleep because of just how hot it was. And of course, my Jamaican roommate and my best friend told me it wasn't that hot and was wearing a blanket. So just shows you the polar opposite of my own household, Cajun.
Literally and figuratively.
Literally and figuratively. As Dort, I think, just got a charge. I want to say he got a charge, and he did get the charge there, did Lou Dort. So again, the Slovenians finally getting some calls going their way. And I will be happy to report I have not seen a lot of Canadians barking. Yeah, Olynyk's gone over a couple of times, but Olynyk is the one guy you want to see over there is Doncic. Right on Jordi
Uh,
Fernandez's lap.
that's not something you want to see either.
That shot was literally about 4 inches from Jordi Fernandez sitting over there at the technical box for the coaching staff. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander now can't make that one to go, and the Slovenians I think they're asking for unsportsmanlike foul. We'll see if that's what they call it. Dylan Brooks is asking because if that's his second, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to call that. It definitely was a sort of grab. Again, it's a reach by Dylan Brooks for sure, but it's not that bad of a foul. Like and we have slandered Dylan Brooks on this show before. We have definitely gone at Dylan Brooks before. No longer will we go after Dylan Brooks on this show unless he does something really stupid and takes away all the good graces he's gained. As Doncic will check out for the last 24 seconds of this third quarter, and they do make number one. Does Preslovic or pardon me, Prepelic is what I definitely meant to say, Cajun. That's not the way it came out. That's what I meant to say. And I think the Canadians are making a sub here. As out goes the other Alexander, no hyphen, as Olynyk will check back in for the last 24 seconds. Shot clock is in effect as there was a 3 millisecond difference. 24.3 to 24-second shot clock. Brooks has got 3 fouls, might I add. So again, last possession here for the Canadians. Alexander, Shea Gilgeous, off for Olynyk. Olynyk's got to shoot. Olynyk for 3. It's wide. And I believe that will be the quarter, and it is. So Slovenia, who are down by like as many as I want to say 16 or 17, they're now down by only 9. Going into the last alleged quarter, as that was a 30-21 third quarter in favor of Canada. They've had 26, 24, and 30 in 3 quarters of play. So you got to expect they'll hit at least 24 in this fourth quarter, especially if they want to win, which will put them over the 100 mark, which they've been averaging over 100 points per game until their latter stage games against Spain and Brazil, respectively. So I'm not even really sure what the averages are now as they go into the quarterfinals.
But they're back. They're back to scoring like they used to.
Like they've previously been, Cajun. Canada right now is the 3rd highest scoring team at 95 points before this contest in only 5 games of play. The Americans right now are the only team averaging over 100 at 101 in 6 games. Second is Serbia at 85. And I want to mention Slovenia is also 9th for most points per game average. So if Canada, whoever wins this game, in fairness to Slovenia, who are still right there, Cage, they'll have a really tough test in Serbia as the second highest scoring team at this tournament.
Yeah.